Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Brothers. This is Gavin.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be reviewing Templeton Rye whiskey.
Yeah, Templeton is made in great state of Iowa. They are a old recipe that they brought back into production. It's a pre-prohibition era whiskey recipe. They on their label they'll tell you Uncle Al, it was his favorite drink, Al Capone. So that's sort of their marketing thing. Is
right.
It was Al Capone's choice drink about back during Prohibition. It's also it uses MGP mash, so it's probably 95% rye, grain in the mash bill.
That's right, and we're certainly going to see that rye, that heavy rye in the nose as well as the taste. Yes, and I just want to mention that this bottle is 80 proof and there is no age statement, so it's most likely aged for 2 years.
Yeah, probably a pretty young whiskey.
All right, so let's get into some nosing. First, Jeff, let's go ahead and take a look at the color. It's fairly light color.
It's light. I mean, that's pretty. When you're dealing with 80 proof whiskeys, you're going to be a little lighter. Probably, it's a little bit of hay, some straw, a little bit of gold, maybe.
Yeah, a little honeysuckle in there.
Yeah. It's
a nice clear color. All right, nosing time. I'm really getting my nose deep in that glass, and 80 proof. There's little to no burn there, which is nice.
No burn. Not any bold flavors jumping out at you. It's fairly subtle. There's certainly being a rye. There's some rye spice in there. A little bit of evergreen, I think.
Yeah, Jeff. A little baked apple, a little sour apple. Pretty heavy on the apple notes here in the nose. Like you mentioned, that rye spice is overwhelming. A little bit of vanilla, some honey.
Yeah. A little bit of sweetness.
It's an okay nose. It's fairly subtle on the flavor profile, so you really got to work hard to get it figured out there.
I agree.
Well, Jeff,
cheers.
Cheers. Let's get some tasting.
Like other MGP products, I think that you get definitely obviously a heavy rye spice, some evergreen is in there, sort of an herbally undertone a little bit. It's in there.
Yeah, fairly characteristic of a rye. Being 80 proof, that rye spice is a bit too overwhelming for me. It's kind of masking those nicer, sweeter, subtle flavors, but a little bit of pepper. On the end there.
Yeah, definitely a little. At the end, you get some pepper.
Just a hint of vanilla and some honey. Again, I'm just trying to get through that rye spice and pull out some of these sweeter flavors. It's not a bad taste.
No, it's very drinkable. Being 80 proof, the mouthfeel very light, water-like. It's
Right, and I'm trying to rate this for what it is. It's an 80 proof whiskey. It's hard. My mind and my mouth. I want to compare it to something which I would prefer, which would be more along the lines of like 100, 110 proof. But for what it is, it's not a bad bottle at all.
Yeah, I mean, lower end proof wise, younger. I mean, I think for what it is. It does a good job.
Sure. Now the price tag, I picked it up for $40. That seems to be a little steep for what it is. What we can assume is a young, 80 proof whiskey. But definitely something I really wanted to try. I'm glad I tried it. Check it off my bucket list.
Yeah, I mean, it was not really even available outside of Iowa until a few years ago. In the last couple of years, they've really sort of picked up production, getting it throughout the country, and it's something that's been, generally well received as it's continued to grow.
Yeah, certainly. I think the majority of whiskey drinkers, Jeff, we're still, drinking those 80, 90 bottles, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's certainly something that you guys should pick up and try, and definitely, share your experience, and in the comment section, let us know what you think.
So what do you want to give it for a number rating here?
So, for what it is, I don't think I'd actually buy a bottle again to put in my home bar. I'm going to have to rate this probably along the lines of a 76.
I'm probably going to sit in the probably I'll put it in like the 80, 81 probably.
Sure.
A little bit higher. This is not the first bottle of this that I've had. I've had some previously.
Right.
Yeah, for what it is, I think it's a good drink.
Sure. So, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. You can make sure to follow us on the YouTube and on our Twitters. The links to those are down below. Again, thanks for watching. Cheers.